What's up, everybody? I'm Valente, and we're back with Behind Enemy Lines. And this week, the Saints play the Houston Texans in Houston. And I'm here with Big K called game, also known as Taysom Hill in this series. Obviously, he's not a fan of the Texans, he's a Broncos fan,
Sadly.
sadly. But yeah, he's certified bowl number Big K. So, we brought him back because I have no Texan fan friends or any Texan fan followers that want to, join. So sad vibes. But it's always a good day when you got Big K. So
Damn
Big K,
straight.
how you doing?
I don't want to answer that. We just had Thursday night football. I just watched the defense allow the least points they've had all year, just for the offense to respond by scoring 8 fucking points. That is how I'm feeling right now. I just saw a tweet that explained how the night went. Richard Sherman, avid Russell Wilson hater, was defending Russ tonight. This defines how my night went. So, but I'm gonna cook anyways because you give me motivation, and you know that meme with the guy with the giant thing of stir fry. That's gonna be me doing this. That's gonna be me doing this.
All right, man. We got Big K in the building, and we're talking about the Saints versus Texans today. Obviously, if you guys don't know, Behind Enemy Lines is a series where me, a Saints fan, talks with the fan of the opposing team for that week, and that this week is the Texans. Now, like I said, Big K, Kaleb, he's not a Texans fan, but he is certified ball number Big K, so that's why we got him here. And first question, what are the keys to victory for the Saints and the Texans? And if you want me to, I'll start.
I got it. It's keep that confidence you're playing with. The Texans were a team that was supposed to be dog shit all year. They were not supposed to compete. They knew, cool, you brought in D'Amico Ryans, who has been a great head coach. You have a rookie quarterback. The expectations are low. But they are playing with a level of confidence that is rare to see. That is, you tell a team, hey, you just had a top 3 pick in the draft, and you're just going to casually play like you're the best team, one of the best in the league. Cool, you're 2-3. Last week you lost on Young Wei Koo being one of the best kickers in the league. Keep the confidence. Stroud is a guy who I hated on, very vocally, was not a Stroud fan coming out of college. Has been the best rookie quarterback in this class, has been a top 10 guy this year. The last thing you need is for this to go down. So his confidence needs to keep on raising. It needs to keep on climbing. This is a Saints defense that's good. There's no question about it. But you do not need Stroud to score 28 fucking points. You don't need 35. This is a Saints offense that has not been good. This is an offense that's been struggling. Even since getting Alvin Kamara back, they have not been good. And I don't care what the man across from me says. He can't say they've been good.
They haven't been consistent. Let's just put it that way.
And
see is what they lack.
You're gonna let a man who is coming from a team that is 5-0, and you can say they had a downgrade at the defensive coordinator. The defensive coordinator, because they lost to D'Amico Ryans. You don't think he's gonna be able to go behind his back, cook up some shit that no one has ever seen before? Because don't get me wrong, D'Amico Ryans is calling this defense most of the time. Or at least in big moments. At least big moments, D'Amico Ryans is the defensive coordinator. And this defense needs to just cook. They have one guy have over 1 sack. Jonathan Greenard is the only guy with multiple sacks on the year. Guys like Will Anderson need to step up and get that second sack. Jerry Hughes, the savvy veteran, needs to get that second sack. While Greenard needs to continue to dominate that line of scrimmage.
Oh, so Jonathan Greener. Um, so yeah, I agree with what you said. Stroud has been incredible. And that defense, they do need to step up. And that's just something you got to do when you're playing the Saints. Is you got to make sure they don't get an offensive rhythm because last week, and I know it's the Patriots. It's like a bad team,
Oh
but
my God,
yeah, the Patriots are a bad team. They're in hell in their own way.
that's an
But
bad's an understatement.
yeah,
You,
they're in
you
hell
know
in
it's
their own way.
bad when people are tweeting that Robert Kraft would fire Bill Belichick.
Yeah, but
They're dumpster fire.
yeah, it's pretty bad. But one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to let the Saints find their offensive rhythm, and that's something that they've taken a long time to do in games. And last week it was there. It obviously wasn't perfect, but you saw flashes of what the offense could be when they're firing on all of their cylinders. So obviously Derek Carr has the shoulder injury that's probably not fully healed, even though he's fully practicing. We'll talk about that later. But you just want to attack the weaknesses in the Saints offense, and that is the blitz. So I think the Saints got to be ready for third downs because that's when most of the blitz comes is on third downs against us. I think that for the Saints to win this game, you just gotta anticipate and strike early and often. Can't wait because obviously the defense is going to do their job, and there's probably not going to be a time where the defense doesn't do their job. You just gotta be ready and willing to get it all done on offense because that's just the story of if the Saints were to lose is if the offense is just the way they were the first 4 weeks.
Look, and you say that, but there's also going to be times where you say they're not going to consistently not look good. With how this team has been, this Texans team has been, there's going to be times where the Saints look bad. And but I
Defense.
this defense is going to look bad. And let me tell you the stat that I told you should scare you.
Okay, let me hear it.
Nico Collins on even numbered weeks averages 147 yards a game.
On even number weeks,
So weeks 2 and 4, his combined average was 147 yards and 1 touchdown.
average.
Average.
So he averages 147 yards and a touchdown a
And
game on even
on
weeks.
even numbered weeks.
Is that's just like a superstition thing though?
Do
Like,
you
what's
want
the
the?
even number week got to do with anything?
Oh, that's just it's just that's the stat is, and it's not against bums, I believe.
Week two, who they play week two? Jacksonville.
Jackson, the week 2 was Indy, and then week 4 was Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it ain't against bumps.
It ain't against bumps, and he put up 146. Oh no, sorry, that number's wrong. That number's wrong. It's not 147. I I
It's
misclicked the number.
average.
It's actually
What's that?
157 yards. Sorry.
Okay, well,
7 receptions for 157 yards and a touchdown and a half on even numbered weeks.
okay. Um, against Indy and Pittsburgh, right?
Against a Pittsburgh team where they didn't have either starting tackle. And they were on their third string left tackle. So they had Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt, the best edge duo in the league, rushing against the third stringer. And the right tackle ain't all that. So they were going to have pressure coming no matter what. And Nico Collins still at 170 yards.
Okay.
And we'll talk about it more later. But they might not even be on the backup left tackle this game.
Yeah, no, it's Laramie Tunsil's back.
Laramie Tunsil should be back.
He
Which
is back.
means
He came back last week, I think.
no, he didn't play last week.
Oh, I thought he did. I could have sworn I
No,
saw that in game preview.
he was limited practice. He was limited practice today.
Oh, I could have sworn he played last week. All right,
No.
either way. I think the even weeks thing, that's a superstition thing because it's like
You better hope so.
like obviously Nico Collins is really good, man. I love Nico Collins. He's a good receiver. But when you're talking about like even weeks, week 2 and 4, the even number weeks, that's just like a superstition thing, man. That's just like an average stat on a like a weird ESPN stat that you'd see like Justin Herbert's the first white quarterback to throw a touchdown at 4:28 p.m. on a Sunday, October 27th. Like that.
Just you wait. When he has 7 receptions for 149 yards and a touchdown,
No, man, I just don't see that happening.
I
Now
want you to know that
he,
Texas is going to come by
he
really fucking
could
fast.
he could, but I don't. What I'm trying to say is that the even number weeks has nothing to do with that stat. It shouldn't like that's a stat that shouldn't matter. Obviously, he's very good on even number weeks, but like, what does the even number weeks have to do with it? Like, what's the point of that?
It's the stat of the
That's like a
day.
that's like a superstition thing. Either way,
Just to wait.
I am riding high over that win 34-0 because I mean it's very hard to shut somebody out on the road regardless of who it is. Uh,
Known scramble
but
of Mac Jones.
yeah, known scrambler McCorkle Jones Jr. But
That's not a win. That is not a
look,
win. I know, as a Bronco fan, I know you want to ride those wins high, but
here's
those are
the
the
thing
games you're
though.
supposed to dominate.
If I we did dominate. If I don't ride high on any wins, I'm not gonna ride high like at all, because the schedule is very cupcake. There's no game where you can, except maybe Jacksonville next week. There's no game on this schedule so far where you can say, "Oh, we beat them," and that made me like very very excited for what's to come in the playoffs. So I just gotta ride high on whatever I can.
You guys beat the Pack. Oh wait, I forgot. You guys blew that lead.
Yeah,
I forgot.
that's
Oh, my bad.
and
My bad.
you know who's
I
doing
I
them.
I forgot you guys blew a lead to a quarterback who's in his first career year starting
Had
without his
nothing to do
receivers.
had nothing to do with Jordan Love, bro. It had
And
everything to do with when Derek Carr went down. Everybody decided to shut down and not play the game.
oh, my bad for
Dennis
me.
Allen went to prevent defense the moment Derek Carr got hurt, and fucking Pete Carmichael went to prevent offense the moment Derek Carr went down because they don't trust Jameis. That showed. Obviously not when clearly he let a game winning drive that he missed the kick. That shouldn't we shouldn't even been in that position. So I'm not gonna blame that on the kicker, but he should have made it either
I
way.
think I think my favorite thing I saw from that though was I saw a tweet that said I love Jameis Winston so much because
Exactly.
his first play he just went deep.
Exactly. Look,
The tweet was only Jameis
that's
fucking Winston would have the guy he's backing up get injured and say fuck it, someone's down there somewhere and somehow get an incomplete pass between two defenders.
that's just Jameis, man. Look, I'm pretty sure that's the identity that Jameis has had for at bare minimum 5 years.
Since
Like
he got to New Orleans, that has been his
before that,
identity.
before
Yeah,
that,
before since the W video, that's his identity.
since the Eat the W, it's been like that.
W.
Well,
That
what's
that
this? What's this? That's a W. We gonna eat that. No.
that has been.
Look, Jameis is elite at being bad.
he's the
I'm,
most no he's the most elite mid quarterback ever.
no, he's the most elite bad quarterback ever.
No, he's very mid.
He's not mid. He's bad.
No, he is mid.
He's not mid.
I would take him as the Broncos backup immediately.
He's still bad.
The Patriots would take him as a starting quarterback
Of
instantly.
course, the Raiders would take him as a starting quarterback. I think there's a lot of people. There's a couple of teams that would take him as a starting quarterback, but that says very little considering Jimmy Garoppolo is a starting quarterback, Zach Wilson's a starting quarterback.
Zach Wilson is cooking, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
Nah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
the Chiefs game, sure, he cooked there, but that's it.
He cooked us.
No. And again, that's not even really hard either. No offense, but like
Hey, we held the Chiefs to 19 points. I don't know what you're talking about.
Any given Sunday, bro. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Today was Thursday, not any given Sunday.
Okay,
Get
any
out of
given
here with
game
that
day.
shit.
Any given game day. There. Either way. Um, yeah, I like Nico Collins. Nico Collins is gonna do his thing. However, I don't think the even weeks has to do with anything. Nico
Shiver
Collins will
your
do his thing
timbers.
whenever he wants to do it.
Shiver your motherfucking timbers.
No, man. Look,
Just know
I don't
every
I don't
time
know
I
every
see Nico
receiver.
Collins catch, you're gonna get a DM. You're gonna get a message.
And I will say right now, I don't usually like to go out of my way to make these, you know, little bets and whatnot, or not bets, but make these little statements because I don't like getting the "I told you so" shit in said to me shit because I hate "I told you so." It's literally my biggest pet peeve with anybody is when someone says "I told you so." But I'm gonna do it just for entertainment. Nico Collins will not touch that average. I don't think Nico Collins will do anything to that average. It'll go down.
Over under 100 receiving yards. Call it right now.
Over under 100 receiving yards?
So 99.5 is the line. Over under.
Under.
Oh, baby.
Under.
Oh, you're fucked.
Depends. Let's see. Who did the Texans have at receiver this week?
Tank Dell's probably not playing, so it's going to be
No, he's
Robert
got a
Woods and
concussion.
John
He'll probably
Mechie.
miss this week.
John Mechie and Robert Woods.
Is Robert Woods playing?
Yes, sounds like it.
Okay.
I didn't see his name on the report when I looked. Or
Yeah.
if I did, he was full practice.
I'm not a Robert Woods fan. I don't know anybody who is. So yeah, I'm gonna say under. Under. I don't think the Texans receiving room has that threat outside of Nico Collins.
Oh, I don't disagree with you. I'm not going to come out here and say they do.
Yeah, Nico Collins is a top 20 receiver in my eyes. Or if he's not, he's getting there.
Not yet. Not yet.
He's definitely getting there though. He's on the rise.
Not yet. It's what, year 2? Not yet.
Yeah. Is he year 2? I thought it was year 3, but he's definitely on the rise. He's
It's
not.
3.
He hasn't even.
It's 3.
Okay. Yeah, he hasn't even scratched the surface on how good he's
But
going to be.
he's one game away from being at a career high for receiving yards in a year.
Really? I thought he had like 900 last year. I must be tripping balls.
481.
Wow.
He is 14 yards away from tying his career high.
Well, he might get 14 yards this game, but he definitely ain't getting another.
Dude, he's gonna bitch Marshawn Lattimore.
I'm sorry, but no one's gonna bitch Marshawn Lattimore.
No, someone is. His name's Nico.
Elite Takes? Elite Takes can bitch him all he wants, man. Not Nico Collins.
Nico Collins is gonna bitch him.
All right. Either way, to recap the keys of victory, you said it's
keep the confidence. Keep that confidence rolling. Keep it coming.
And for me, I just think it's anticipate and pick up on exactly what you've been failing at, and that is recognizing the blitz. And with that, since we're already talking about Robert Woods and injuries, injury report. So, on the Saints side, we have Juwan Johnson did not practice with the calf. Lonnie Johnson did not practice with the hamstring. Adam Prentice did not practice with the knee. JT Gray did not practice with the hamstring. Landon Young did not practice with the hip. Cam Jordan limited practice with the back. Chris Olave upgraded to full practice with a toe. James Hurst upgraded to full practice with foot. Derek Carr full practice with right shoulder. And Andrews Pete full practice with a concussion. And then down to the Texans. You got Laramie Tunsil upgraded to limited with knee. Shaquille Griffin upgraded to full with the calf. Tank Dell did not practice with a concussion. He'll probably be out. We'll see what tomorrow
He'll
looks
be
like.
out.
Yeah. All right. Robert Woods, limited
Hmm?
practice with rest/ribs. Malik Collins with a full practice with abdomen. Blake Cashman, love that name, full practice with the wrist. George Fant, hip/shoulder, full practice. Christian Harris, concussion, limited practice. Shaquille Mason, limited practice or full practice with the ankle. Noah Brown with the groin, full practice. Titus Howard, hand. Josh Jones, hand. Both are full practice. Denzel Perryman, hand and wrist, full practice. And then Tavier Thomas, full practice with the hand. A lot of people got hand injuries for the Texans. But is there anything that stands out to you for the Texans injury report?
Shaquille
Uh,
Griffin.
okay,
That is a man who having him back will be such a nice boost for the Texans. I mean, he's a name who people don't mention a lot because he's not flashy. He's not flashy. He's not the big gonna come out talk shit guy. Not getting a bunch of the national media because he's in Houston.
right,
But we look at where he was before, the Seahawks. The Seahawks had to quickly replace him because of his impact on the field. Shaquille Griffin may not come out here and be the flashiest guy in the world. He's going to hold a receiver pretty darn well. Whether that's Chris Olave or Michael Thomas, whoever he's gunning on that play, he is a really good coverage corner. Other thing is Lammy Tunchel. He would be a big boost back for that. Obviously, it's Lammy fucking Tunchel.
right.
No one. Trent Williams is the only left tackle better than him. And that's because I forgot Trent for a second because he is not human. He is from another world. He was
Correct.
made in a lab. That man is not real. But Lammy Tunchel is the second best left tackle in football. And you talk about confidence. The confidence Stroud has of not having to check over his left shoulder every second, not knowing what's coming, would be just such a boost for him. And he's already been spectacular. I'm not worried about Woods because he's going to play. Having Christian Harris would be back would be nice because just great tackler. That could be some great run defense going up against Alvin Kamara and Kendre Miller.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some names on there who are big starters for them, even though they're not the flashiest names. Not Christian Harris, small name, big impact player. There's some names on there that getting them back would be really nice for them. What about for the Saints?
The one that really stands out to me is Cam Jordan, considering he's barely ever been on an injury report. This, if he misses this week, this would be his third career miss game. Only his third career miss game. And one was to COVID, and one was to like an eye injury that was like some freak accident. But
I, re- I remember. Is that the flag one? Was he the guy who got injured by the flag?
no, 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 no. His
Okay.
was just like some freak accident that happened, like non-football related eye
Oh,
injury or
I was like,
something.
was Cam Jordan the guy who, when a ref called a
No,
flag? You know
I
what I'm
think
talking about, though,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I think unironically that was a Texans player.
I
I'm,
just I
I'm
forgot
not
that
sure.
even happened until you said that. I'm like, there's some ref who injured said, no, I was who was it? Who was it was some Hall of Famer that ended his career.
Oh shit. Either way, why are you thinking about that? Cam Jordan has rarely ever missed time in his career, and to be real, I don't expect this to be anything. I don't expect him to even miss this game. But just in case he does, what stands out is that you're not going to miss really his production while he is a better run stopper in the league right now, and while he still produces really well. I just don't think that you would miss his production as much as you would last year. Because you got a lot of great guys on this or a lot of guys on this defense who are very reliable in their own right. Like for example, Carl Granderson, like you mentioned, Laramie Tunsil's probably going to play this week. I have yet to see Carl Granderson go up against an elite left tackle, and he was just paid $52 million over 4 years. So I really want to see what Carl Granderson's going to look like against an elite left tackle. He's faced guys like Trent Brown, Andre Dillard, and Andre Dillard, by the way, is not a good left tackle. But basically, what I'm trying to say is, I just want to see what Carl Granderson looks like against an elite player of Laramie Tunsil's caliber. But like I was mentioning about Cam Jordan is you're not gonna miss his production, but you're gonna miss what he brings to the game in terms of being a leader and just getting all the guys right up because his motto and his slogan is meet at the quarterback, and that's something that you like to see him do a lot because the sacks aren't going to his name. He only has one full sack, but every time there is a sack, he's in the backfield with that person. Whether it be Carl Granderson, whether it be Daniel Passanio, Brian Bazee, whoever it is, he's always back there with them. And that's one thing you're gonna miss is that leadership and that prowess that he brings to your front. And I hope that he can at least play in some limited fashion because those guys on the defense need him to be there. But yeah, that's a pretty incredible injury report for both teams. But it's actually looking a lot better than the names that are showing up on there.
I forgot who the fuck I was talking about when I made this. And the name, there'll be another name that comes to me later on. But some guy asked me why some defensive dude has stayed in the league so long because he's not good. And my point was, there's some things you can't teach. One of those things is leadership. Leadership is a God-given talent. It's not something you talk about how you can develop speed to a point. You can develop strength to a point. You can't teach mentality and you can't teach leadership.
You can teach guys how to use their speed. You can teach guys how to use their strength. But
We
you can't
talked
teach guys how to be a leader. You can't teach
we,
guys how to think.
we talked about Jerry Judy a bit before this because you wanted my opinion on that, and I gave it. And it's all stuff. All of Judy's issues could be correlated to the team's lack of success. It could just be that's who he is. Cam Jordan, you could be 0-17, and he'll be and some practice squad guy could get a sack, and he's back there celebrating his ass off with the team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's who
exactly.
Cam Jordan is, and
Exactly.
that's what a
Cam.
team wants.
Yeah, Cam has one full sack, but every time the quarterback goes down, he's back there like he's the one who made the play. Except he's not. He's not celebrating himself. He's talking up the guys, whether it be Tano Passanio, whether it be Malcolm Roach, whether it be anybody on that D line. He's always back there talking them up because that's just how he is.
It might have been Josh McCown I was talking about, honestly.
Yeah, it's definitely
It,
some journeyman quarterback.
it was some journeyman defender who kept bouncing around everywhere. Some it was a it was some guy who's no chance of making the Hall of Fame.
Well, like Chase Daniel.
It could have it's a lot of those guys who
Yeah,
they were not good at all, but they
yeah.
always were making a fucking paycheck to hold a clipboard or to just
Chase
type up the
Daniel.
defense.
Chase
Chase
Daniel is like
Daniel,
the 35th highest player in NFL history, and he's only started like one or two games.
yeah, exactly. There's
Yeah,
QBs
it's
like that
incredible. Yeah,
who just get paid to hold the clipboard because they are great leaders. They know the game,
yeah.
and that's what. And
Hey,
Cam
I'd be willing
Jordan's
to bet that Chase Daniel would be a good coach one day.
look at Josh McCown,
Yeah, doesn't he coach?
Bryce Young.
Oh, he coaches the Panthers.
He's the QB's coach there.
Damn, I didn't know that. I thought it. Who coaches UAB? Trent Dilfer.
Yeah.
Trent Dilfer. He's
No, he's the QB's coach. He wanted
that's
he
that's
wanted
crazy.
he wanted the best QB in the class to be drafted by them, but that's not how it went.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different. That's a Panthers video thing.
Yeah. Another thing that stands out on the injury report is Chris Olave's foot or toe injury. The Saints haven't had a really good history with wide receivers, star wide receivers getting toe injuries. But Chris Olave's is nothing. It's just something that happened pre-game last week. He played through it. Obviously, I don't think it held him back a little bit. It was just plays that he didn't make. Like for example, Derek Carr dropped a dime on him and he missed and dropped the ball because his hands were outstretched and he just couldn't survive the ground. That's something that Olave has struggled with is being able to survive the ground uh, on those wide open catches that he gets. But yeah, Olave's last couple of games haven't been
He's
that
young.
great. Yeah,
He's also very due for a tutty.
yeah, he had
He
one
is
last week,
due. He
but
did?
yeah, he had one last week in the back of the end zone. It's a pretty good throw too. I ain't gonna lie.
No.
Um,
Oh, I thought he didn't get one yet.
yeah, he had one last week. Michael Thomas is someone who's due for a tutty. He needs his. I need to see it.
Has he had one yet?
No,
Oh, that's his
he's
sweet
got like
team.
he's got like 300 yards and no touchdowns.
See, that's like we talk about bets I'm gonna make. I'm taking anytime touchdown Michael Thomas now.
This week?
Yes.
Okay. Shit, I might do it too.
Because there's some guys who are just too good not to score. It was last week. My lock of the week was Jamar Chase.
Did he score?
3 fucking times.
Dub.
Dude, Jamar Chase had like 230 yards, 14 receptions, and 3 tutties.
Damn.
And that was I had him on 4 different slips anytime tutty.
Joe Burrow was spamming square the entire game.
He almost had a 4th. Which is even funnier because I was down like 50 in fantasy. And if they would have scored that touchdown, I would have only lost by 4.
By the way, Marvin Mims lost me my fantasy game.
That's rough, buddy, because he didn't get the ball.
Yeah.
Because we don't fucking play him.
He fumbled. That's why he lost.
Oh, last week.
He fumbled. If he would have done nothing, I would have won. But either way, all right.
Oh, well,
injury report. We're done off that. Next question is, do you want to start with the positive or negative?
What's up? What are you feeling?
Let's start negative. We'll end positive. No. We'll start positive. What's the dream scenario for the Texans and the Saints this week?
Nico Collins, 12 receptions, 187 yards, 3 touchdowns.
No.
That is the dream scenario. And I'm going to DM you with every single catch he gets after he breaks 100 yards. I told you so.
I told you so. 100 yards or just every single catch?
After he breaks 100.
Okay.
Well, I'm also going to text you how many yards he has actively.
Okay. I will text you with every pass that's batted down by Marshall Lattimore in his direction.
Go right ahead. It won't happen until he gets 170.
You know what? We might not even text each other because Nico Collins ain't even going to grasp 100 yards.
In your dreams, buddy.
Under 99.5, smack that shit. All right. Either way.
No. So, dream scenario is. Get the mic no longer in view. The dream scenario. Confidence keeps rolling. Stroud keeps cooking. We give him the crock pot. We turn that bitch up to 400. We throw some chicken. We put some hot sauce in there. He has his spatula, and he starts cooking that bitch. I know I said crock pot. He'll cook with whatever he's given. Because that's who that man is. He's the best rookie QB we have seen in the league to start a year.
You got barbecue back there and you didn't invite me?
Bro, barbecue... No. Barbecue sauce is trash, though.
Award hit from Ohio State? What? Okay.
No, I don't want no barbecue sauce because barbecue sauce is shit.
Barbecue chicken alert.
Buffalo chicken alert.
Okay. Either way. So your dream scenario is...
Stroud keeps cooking. This defense gets great. You talked about not wanting about being quick. You can't be quick when someone's nuts and cause face on the ground already. You know that I want what this game to be is like that Kevin Hart and Shaq gif I said all the time. What Kevin Hart is bent over on the car, and
Yeah,
Shaq has
yeah,
a.
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
is
yeah.
what I want this game to be. I want the Texans to go downtown.
Okay, well, our offensive line has improved the past couple of weeks, so I just think the flaws are there when it comes to reading the blitz and picking it up. They just haven't done that, but it has definitely improved, and hopefully it can improve into a consistent level to where you know we we're not letting up so many sacks a game. I believe Derek Carr through week 3 was sacked 12 times, and now that's up to 15. So that's 3 in the last 2 weeks, which you know it's a lot better. But that number originally, if you look at it right now, that number looks as about as vanilla as it can get. But I just think the dream scenario for us is keep moving, build on what the offense did last week. Even if the team you played last week is absolute dog shit, no good at all, you just want to build on what you started last week because the momentum is in your favor. The Saints are 31-12 on the road. I think that record is 31-12 on the road in the past 3 years, or 3 or 4 years, and you're on the road this week in Houston. That is very close to New Orleans. There's going to be a very decent ratio of Texans and Saints fans there. You gotta build on what you started, and you're talking about the stat that scares me, the stat that should scare any Texans fans. The Saints are better on the road than they are at home.
What?
Yeah,
Actually, the Broncos are too. Actually, the last few
yeah. I mean,
years.
it's pretty easy to be better on the road when you're the Broncos when you can get a kick up in every other stadium except for Mile High because Mile High is impossible to kick in for both teams. I remember telling Dakota. Dakota's one of my friends. Everyone, it's one of my friends who's also a Broncos fan. I told both of y'all. I think I told you whenever we traded Will Lutz to you. I said it might take a minute for Will Lutz to get acclimated to kicking in Mile High.
I knew it was.
Yeah, because just like anybody who goes up in there, it's not easy to kick in a Mile High stadium.
And I say this all the time. Denver's the only place where home field, home court, whatever truly matters.
Yeah,
Because it's the unless you're really at sea level,
home field. What do you mean? But home field really matters?
it's well home field advantage exists. Cool, the fans are going to be on a side, but what's the difference between you playing in the Superdome and playing at AT&T Stadium? Just Cowboy fans?
I mean, playing in domes is like incredibly loud, so it's kind of hard to get the play call accurate.
So
Your
the
snap
Saints are a
count.
Superdome.
Yeah,
That's AT&T is a dome.
yeah, that's
No, it's
Dallas Cowboys.
no wait, it's not a dome.
No, but
But
it's an inside stadium.
yeah, it is no. But
It's not a dome though. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
there's differences. But at the end of the day, if you go from New Orleans to Kansas, Arrowhead is loud as fuck. That's the advantage. That's it. You go
Yeah,
to Mile High. Hey, guess what? You need more oxygen. You
true.
need that shit pumping in. The air
Yeah,
is thinner. You
I
need
think our
more.
contexts are both a little different than what we're like. Your context is saying that actual like competitive advantages
Yes, it's the only place
versus
where there's a real competitive advantage.
yeah, like because you're going to be drained of air and
It's a real.
versus drained of air and versus it being loud, hard to hear snap count, hard to hear play call, hard to audible to your team. I mean, I don't know, but home field advantage is definitely um, really weird for us, considering both of our teams have incredible home field advantages, but somehow don't win at home.
Feels like it's been a year
Yeah,
because it
I
might have
don't. When's
legitimately
the
been a
last time
year.
we won at home? Week one.
Guess when the last time we
Okay.
won at home was? I couldn't
When?
fucking tell you. I genuinely couldn't tell you the last time we won at home.
Damn. Well, either way, so your dream scenarios just keep the confidence moving.
Confidence flowing.
Yep.
Pump it
My
in the
dream
veins.
scenario.
D'Lo. Ice in the veins. Keep Stroud with that ice.
Yeah, my dream scenario is to just be able to anticipate what's coming, be able to pick up the blitz better, and just keep improving on what was originally so shit in week one that they've improved on, and just keep up defensive consistency and just build on your momentum that you already have. And like I said, they're 31-12 or 31-13 or something of that caliber on the road in the last 4 or 5 years. So it's gonna be fun. But with dream scenarios, there's got to be nightmare scenarios. So, what is the nightmare scenario for both teams?
One reception for -2 yards from Nico Collins. No, but the real nightmare scenario, the real me being completely dead ass. Just holding my mic like this from now on.
Okay, okay,
It is we CJ Stroud throws that first pick.
okay.
It's gonna happen eventually.
Yeah, ain't no way he's gonna not throw a pick this season.
It's gonna happen eventually.
It's
And
gonna happen this week. Mark my words.
497 yards, 27 touchdowns, 198.3 completion QBR, which is impossible to get, but he's gonna fucking do it.
He's gonna break the barrier.
He's gonna break the barrier. It's no. I think it's gonna be a Jordan Love situation again. I think where he does throw his first one.
Do you think that? Do you think that this offensive performance from let's say it does happen? Do you think that this bad offensive performance that is allegedly gonna happen or that could happen from CJ Stroud, do you think that's going to spark his downfall, or do you think he will be able to bounce back from it quickly? Because Jordan Love's bad offensive performances, they've continued, they've moved over.
Here is what I'm gonna say. I think he has not really played the only team he has really played that is horrifying defensively. Well, is outside of Baltimore is Atlanta. Atlanta's defense is really good. You make that look. I want to say they're a top
I,
10 defensive
I'm
unit
not
on there.
making that look because you're lying. I'm making that look because I just don't. I cringe whenever I hear Atlanta being good at anything.
Is it because you hate that they are?
It's not that I hate that they are. It's just like I'm so used to them not being good at anything at all.
And now they're just
Now,
a QB
now
away.
that no, they're not a QB away. Trust me, they're head coach away too. I don't think Arthur Smith is him, and I'll stand on that.
I
But
can't wait for them to sweep you.
look, this is the way I think about it. Desmond Ritter is not good. I like Desmond Ritter. Desmond Ritter is my favorite player on the Falcons. As much as I hate to say it, if I have to name anybody on the Falcons as my favorite player, it's him. Desmond Ritter is not a good quarterback, and he cannot put anything together to save his life. But he did against the Texans.
Which is scary. And you know what? Here's the thing. And here's the reality you have to face, and I think it's in the near future. There's a good quarterback on the block right now,
That is Kirk Cousins.
and Atlanta's a place I said I could see trading for him.
For Kirk Cousins?
Yes,
Okay.
I said the
I
teams to look out for is Atlanta and Pittsburgh, and I think Atlanta's more realistic.
I could see hot take as fuck by the way that I'm about to throw. I could see Atlanta trading for Ryan Tannehill before they ever trade for Kirk Cousins.
You're not cooking, little bro.
And the reason that I say that is because Arthur Smith is was the offensive coordinator for the Titans, and him and Vrabel, if I remember this correctly, were the ones that made that executive decision to originally start Tannehill. And when Tannehill and Arthur Smith were together, Tannehill was cooking.
Yes, but here's the difference between Tannehill and Cook.
Thing is that Tannehill knows the system that Arthur Smith runs.
Thing is, Cook.
Versus,
So does Cook.
Does he?
They run very. It's a very similar system than what he did in Washington.
Were they together in Washington?
No, but it's a similar system. A lot
Yeah,
of, and it's something that the more I watch closely, the more I realize a lot of NFL systems are very similar.
Well, yeah.
And this is a super similar system between Washington and Atlanta because Atlanta was kind of Washington was in a similar boat where outside of Jordan Reed, they had a good young receiver. That's really it. And good.
But is
And
Kirk really on the block?
If they lose again this week, yes.
They're going to lose this week, probably. They are facing the Bears, but they are without Justin Jefferson. I don't know. It's hard to tell because the Bears...
Hawk legacy game.
I'm with you on that one. I am with you on that one. I will say that.
I think they're going to look to trade him, but especially if they win this week, because I don't think they want to win. I think there's two generational QBs, and I think there's one QB who could be generational on top of that entering this draft. And I think they want a piece of that.
I want a piece of that. You like that.
And I think they'll move on from Cook. I think Atlanta's the better fit. I think they're more likely to move him to Pittsburgh, though. Just get Cook out of the conference because he is a very good quarterback.
Yeah, Kirk is doing his thing.
But the reason I could see Atlanta doing it is keep Ridder, give Ridder a year behind Cook, and let that offense flourish so Ridder can see how it's supposed to be ran. And you hate that I'm making good points.
I'm not gonna say I would like Kirk being in the Falcons because I wouldn't. Kirk's a good quarterback. I just don't see that happening.
That is your nightmare scenario.
It's not a nightmare to me because Kirk can be beaten. It's not like he's this almighty quarterback, but yes, Kirk does make the Falcons a much better team than what they are now.
Is Kyle Pitts a good tight end?
Yeah.
Guess who has the lowest catchable rate thrown on targets?
The lowest catch rate thrown on targets?
Yes.
Kyle Pitts.
Guess who is Drake London a good receiver?
I don't know yet.
Guess who's also in the top 10 for lowest possible catch rate? Has of balls thrown towards him the lowest catchable percentage. Guess who's also in that top 10?
Drake London. I don't know what you want me to say.
That Kirk Cousins will not have either of those guys in that fucking group.
I think Kirk Cousins is gonna miss Justin Jefferson a lot.
Oh no! I just have a freak of nature at tight end. Oh no! I just have a running back who can catch the football at an alarming
great rate. The freak of nature at tight end has been struggling recently, though.
The freak of nature at tight end has no one throwing him the ball.
No, I'm talking about on his own things. Like his routes have been.
Oh my!
Yeah, you've seen the video.
That video is bullcrap.
Wow.
Do you notice how they showed 3 plays in a 2-minute video? 2 of those plays were just the same play on a different angle.
Oh, I only seen one play where he was falling over.
There's some of those clips were just them doing it over again, but just showing the condensed full game instead of the all 22 view.
I don't know. I just know that
if I could make that same video for Justin Jefferson.
What of him falling?
of him falling on routes. Because every
True.
receiver does it. You play on turf. Turf is not sturdy. You're
Mm-mm.
gonna slip and fall on turf. You're not gonna beat the man coverage every fucking time.
But yeah,
So
I don't think that I know obviously Kirk would make the Falcons a big difference. I just don't think that the Falcons are gonna go out and get Kirk.
I think they are.
I don't
But
know.
oh well. But the
And then
real
even more really what I'm like thinking about is if they're even gonna trade Kirk.
yeah, because they also don't get anything for him. His contract's expiring. It'd be more of what Cook will waive his no trade clause. That would be the
Kirk
question.
would do that. Kirk would do that.
And he'd do that for the right situation. But no. So yeah, no, Stroud, throwing that first pick I worry about. I don't know if he'd bounce back. My knock on Stroud walking into the league was this. Was is he mentally strong enough to handle the NFL? I know it was David Miller I was talking to. He's like, well, he reads the defense is fine. I'm like, he's not alert to blitzes. Everything I saw, could not make a change to a blitz. He did not get the ball out quick. He also struggled to bounce back at times. So what happens when you've had all this success and then you have one fuck up?
Yeah, that's what I like to think about a lot of Alabama players coming out of the draft is because the only thing they're used to is successful seasons. And if more than likely if you're at Alabama, you're probably going to get drafted to a team. If you're good at Alabama, you're more than likely going to get drafted to a team that's not in the best situation. That's why they're taking you. So like people like Jerry Judy and people like Mac Jones and I was gonna say Henry Ruggs, but he's got his own thing going on.
I feel bad for
Um,
him.
yeah. But people like Jerry Judy. Jerry Judy hasn't really won anything since college, and you don't know if he's got that motor in his mind to
His
just
You don't know his
push forward.
mentality towards it.
Right. You don't know like he's used to winning and now he's hasn't been winning. Same as Mac Jones. He's used to winning. He hasn't been winning. You don't know uh how he is, his mentality. Like for example, he even said that he hates being yelled at.
You do
Which
wait,
yeah, I
hold up.
mean,
I want to make sure you know CJ Stroud's not a Bama QB, right?
yeah, I know, but I'm
Okay.
talking about like the
I
mentality of his
I wanted to
winning.
make sure. I thought because
Yeah,
Ohio State QBs probably would have been a better
yeah.
analogy with AJ
I'm
McCarron and
talking
stuff like that.
yeah, I'm talking about
Actually, no, McCarron's Alabama. Never
players.
mind.
Yeah,
You
I'm
think?
using players who are used to
Yeah.
winning, aren't winning. But um yeah, Ohio State QBs statistically have never been good in the NFL. Cardell Jones, JT Barrett, uh Justin Fields? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Fields is putting it back together.
Yeah, I think Fields is good, but he's still not winning. But
But I
not on
really
him.
I
Not on
really
him.
want to see how his mentality is if he has when he has to bounce back. And
Yeah. But like I'm comparing this to Jordan Love. I'm comparing CJ Stroud to Jordan Love because when Jordan Love had that first bad offensive performance, he didn't bounce back. He hasn't bounced back yet.
not yet. I'm sorry.
Which is why I'm
I,
saying
I just saw a legendary tweet from Broncos Twitter. That's why I laughed.
I thought you were laughing at me comparing him to Jordan Love. I'm like, let me
No,
cook real quick.
no. So some guy, some Broncos fan before the game posted they said you're a jag 10. They say you're a bust 10. They say you do nothing but talk 10. How will you respond 10? They were 3 for 3.
Oh god. All right. Um. Yeah, we're running long. We're talking about a lot of shit. We might as well start a podcast together. The
No.
offensive line podcast with Big K and Big V.
We have
Um,
talked about something.
yeah.
Oh well.
Stay tuned.
What's your nightmare scenario?
Yeah. My nightmare scenario is you just fall back into a slump because you start 2-0, and you have that game where you blow the 17-point lead, and then you lose to the Bucks the way you did, and then you finally win one. You got the momentum on your side. What are you gonna do with it? Just like the guy on Broncos Twitter just said, they're doubting you. You know, you're everything's on your side right now. What are you gonna do with it? I just think the nightmare scenario is you fall into that slump again, and you let the Texans just dominate you. You let them dominate you on every front possible.
180 yards,
Nope.
12 touchdowns for
Nope.
47 receptions by Nico Collins.
No. No, man. Look, okay. I do think that it's CJ Stroud is due for that interception. I do think that CJ Stroud is due for that welcome to the NFL game. And I hope that the Saints can make this his judgment day type game. But nightmare scenario is just you let this young rookie QB that everyone thinks is dumb, that everyone thinks is having a fluke right now. You're letting everyone say that, you're the top 10 defense. You're the elite defense. You should be able to go in there and make him look exactly how we all think he should look.
That was also
And
the
you prove
Steelers.
them absolutely wrong and you fall flat on your face.
Oh, the Bucks.
Huh?
Are you talking about the Bucks game?
No, I'm talking about TJ Stroud.
Oh, okay. I thought so.
I'm saying
I was like,
everyone's
like,
talking about, well, this is a fluke. This is CJ Stroud's dumb. The Wanderlick test. He didn't do good on that. He's dumb, right? He's a fluke. He hasn't played any good defense yet, which you can say the Falcons is sneaky good defense. And then you just go out there and prove everyone wrong. CJ Stroud is elite. No, you need to give this kid his welcome to the NFL moment. You need to welcome him to the big leagues. It ain't sweet around here. This defense will really put you on your backside, or this defense will really make you throw Stevies. All right? If everything falls flat for us on the defensive side of the ball, and usually, last week and the week before I said it will be something to do with the offensive line, Pete Carmichael offense, in my nightmare scenario. I've said that every week. But the nightmare scenario this week is the defense just falls flat out and they make this rookie quarterback look like he's the seasoned veteran. I'm sorry if I just strung that out so long and made it sound stupid, but simplified answer. All right. Two more questions, as both of these episodes are literally going to cross an hour. Both of the episodes that I've done with you.
I cook.
Yeah, and we also go off on little tangents about other teams.
Hey, that's called being homies.
Yep.
It's called being homies. I want
to. All right. Two more questions. First one. What are your breakout candidates for the Texans?
Okay, so this is a guy who is a big name. It's not Nico Collins, do not worry. But this guy's averaging under 3 yards a carry. He has one game over 80 rushing yards and has one touchdown on the year. Damian Pierce needs to have a game. He has yet to have one. I know I could say John Mechie III, who's going to probably have to who's going to step in for Nico Collins, not Nico, for Tank Dell, and might have to step in for Robert Woods if he can't go. But these are the games where you need your guys to step in. The Saints are a team that I still think is going to be in the playoffs because that schedule is light. And they need to step up. And that's the guy who needs to step up, and it is Damian Pierce. We talked about how Nico Collins is going to have 5,000 yards, 48 receptions, and 10 touchdowns in this game. Yeah, I keep saying random numbers.
Right,
Nico Collins is going to – we talked about how Nico Collins needs to have a game for them to win. Damian Pierce needs to have a game for them to freaking win as well. Cool. CJ Stroud could cook. This defense is good. This is another game where you're looking at a possible low scoring game. You need someone to step up. And you need the guy who could have been the offensive rookie of the year last year if he doesn't get injured to step up. The guy who was averaging 5 yards a carry last year to go from averaging 2.9 this year all the way up to 3.3, having that kind of game, that efficiency leaps. He needs to have 100 total yards this game.
100 total?
Yes, he has not broke 100 total, I don't believe.
You still haven't said his name yet.
Oh, it's Damian Pierce.
Yeah, we knew that.
I'm pretty sure I said Damian Pierce. I'm pretty sure I said him at some point.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. Damian Pierce. So my friend was talking to me. He's like, who should I start in fantasy? Brian Robinson or Damian Pierce? I said, realistically, if you're going based off of past performances and who they're playing this week, you start Brian Robinson.
If you need a guy, and I keep saying this, there's guys in fantasy who you have to take the risk on. This is the guy you take a risk on this week.
Damian Pierce?
Damian Pierce, because
is Big K calling game on this one?
I'm a big fantasy guy. I think I have one league. My worst record in the league is 2-3. And I'm 6-2 and I'm 8-2 in the league.
How are you 8-2?
We play with median.
Okay.
It's a 32-man. It's a 32-man league. So we play with median. I'll say everyone would be 4-0, something like that. And my one loss, I was under the median by 1 point. I just bad week 1. But I'm a huge fantasy nerd, and there's teams out there who are at that 0-5 right now, 0-4, whatever the record is. It's 0-5. There's teams that are 1-4. And you need to start taking stretches at that point. And Damian Pierce is a guy you take a risk on. I know the Saints have a great rush defense, right? They do?
So far, yep, so far. They've held QBs or running backs to 3.5 yards a carry, I think.
This is the guy you take a risk on because that's also something that cannot maintain. Something has to break eventually, and it is Damian Pierce against the Saints. That's a Big K called game. I'm telling you, start Damian Pierce. And if I'm wrong, do not come at me because you made the final decision. You chose to follow my words. So I don't want mentions.
What I like to say in a lot of my videos is I'm not an NFL GM. I'm not a head coach. I'm not an expert. I'm just a 18-year-old kid now who just watches football literally every day, almost every second of the day. You can choose to take my advice. I may be dumb, but you're the dumb one for trying to take it. Anyway.
And I see guys come at creators who take a prediction. There's some guys, like, I understand, like, hey, you can because they know this game a lot.
Right.
I understand this game more than Valente for a lot of reasons.
Yeah,
it's not because I played for over 8 years, for actually exactly 8 years, to a level not a lot of people can say they played it to.
Yeah, you played with a NFL. You played at one of the greatest D2 college football programs of all time.
It was like the number 4 college football program in the 2010s of Division II football. Yeah, I think it came in at number 4, number 3 on the list.
You played with the greatest D2 college coach of all time.
One of the greatest Division II coaches of all time. I played with a guy who was sending guys to the NFL in their gym. I didn't play with him. I worked with him. And if you don't follow him somewhere, 6-0 Strength Academy, his film breakdowns are insane. He knows this game, and I worked with him since my freshman year of high school, all the way through my senior year of high school. I worked with him for
this. It's like a teacher in math class, man.
He might have been. I think I started in 8th grade. So I worked with him for 5 years, in the film room, all that. So I understand this game to another level.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not taken from Valente for casual.
No, I'm just a fan.
Valente knows a lot for a casual fan.
I'm not a casual fan. I'm a fan.
You're in that casual status.
I don't like the word casual.
I feel he's above a normal casual because he loves this game. He watches on Saturdays. He watches Thursday Night Football. He's watching football a lot.
It's my life, man.
Football up here for me is different. it always pisses my dad off when he and I watch football because it was the Packers Lions game. And he looked at me. He said, "No." He said, "This is going to be an inside dive." I paused the TV and drew up the exact touchdown play that they ran, and he got so
Yeah.
pissed. I'm like, it was the Christian Watson touchdown where he just ran a quick flat route, and I told him, I'm like, this Dobbs is running a slant, Watson's running a flat. If this corner follows Watson, he's going to throw the slant hot. If he drops back and plays it soft, it's going to be a laser to Watson in the back and at the bottom left pylon.
Yeah, sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong, but it feels damn good when you're right.
Oh, he left. He walked out.
Yeah.
He hates watching. He gets so proud because I can do that, but it's also a curse when I can do that.
Yeah, because now you just outshowed him.
Yeah, he gets so pissed now that I know more
Hey
football than
man,
him.
look, Caleb's been teaching me some play calls. You know, Caleb showed me some play calls and stuff, and helped me learn a little more X's and O's rather than just um you know watching the game and
Yeah,
cheering on
you're
my
not
team.
ready for me to break down some of the plays on the back of Sean Payton's play card.
Oh yeah, the one that got leaked.
I'm gonna break some of that shit down.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Who's your
that's.
breakout? Who's your breakout?
Oh yeah. I forgot my breakout. Look at the injury report again. Who could possibly come in this week?
The guys you talked about were Olave. You talked about Cam Jordan. You talked about who
All
could
right.
play.
Look. This probably isn't the fun answer. We've said his name a couple of times today. This person has not caught a touchdown yet, and I want to see. Obviously, this guy's not 2019 anymore. It's not, but Michael Thomas has been very consistent this season so far, having those 4 or 5 catch, 50-yard games. I think it's time for him to break into that new level and score a touchdown, maybe have a couple more catches, couple more targets. He might, maybe, maybe break 80 yards and a touchdown. I'm looking for it, hopefully. But I'm just glad to see Michael Thomas healthy, and I think it's finally time. He's due for his. I think it's finally time for Michael Thomas to score that touchdown.
Valid.
Not really a breakout, but better than expected. Let's put it that way. All right, and final question. What are your score predictions for the game? And first episode, I tried this with you. I didn't try it with anybody else because I don't know if they bet. We're gonna talk
I
about.
have it.
You have the spread and stuff.
I have everything pulled up.
All right, bet. What's the spread? What's the over under? What's all that?
Which one you want first?
So spread.
The
I
spread.
think it's Saints by 1.5, right?
Saints 1.5.
Okay,
Saints
right.
by
What's the over
1.5.
under?
42.5.
Okay. What do you think?
I have to ride what I've been preaching.
Okay.
I've been preaching Damian Pierce breakout game. I've been preaching Nico Collins 170,000 yards, 400,000 receptions, and a world record and breaking the career record for touchdowns in a single game. Not single game record, the career record.
In his single game, he's gonna
In
break
the single
career
game,
record.
he's gonna be the greatest. He's gonna have the greatest career of all time through one game.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. I'm riding it high. Give me the over 42.5 and give me from Dallas, from Houston, from Texas, from Houston, with D'Amico Ryans as the head coach of that football team. That poorly ran organization out there in Houston. Give me the Texans 28-17.
Bombshell. Okay. I think it's very, very hard not to cover that over spread if you're gonna win the game. So I'm gonna take the Saints to cover. I think the Saints are gonna win by a total of 6 points, and I think the over you said 42.5,
Yes.
and I think my score prediction is 27-21. So therefore, I think that they do hit the over and the Saints cover their spread. Because it's very hard to not cover a spread whenever, if the Saints are winning the game. It's very hard not to cover that spread if you only win by one. That's the only like possibility they don't cover if they win. But yeah, I'm gonna say Saints by 6, 27-21. So they're gonna cover and hit the over. This is probably gonna be the first time. Well, no, that's the first time. It's probably the second time this season they'll cover. I want to know their records against the spread. Can you
I'm
find that?
seeing if it's easy to find.
I think ESPN has records against the spread. I'm not sure. Let me find that real quick. But yeah, that's my prediction. I'm gonna say 48 total points, 27-21 in the Saints' favor.
I think I have it
Um,
pulled up.
no
The
slight to the
Saints, the
Texans.
Saints
Oh wait,
are 1-3-1 against the spread.
1-3-1.
Yes,
They tied the spread against Tennessee. I remember that.
they're 1-3-1. The Texans are 3-2,
Okay,
and they are 1-0 against the spread as underdogs.
as underdogs. Okay, well 1-1. Everyone loses eventually.
Actually, no. I'm gonna keep what I just said with the score.
Okay.
See, scratch
Well,
that. Scratch that. 17-40, 17-14 Texans win. They take the under on 42.5.
ooh, okay. I'm riding with what I got though. I think it's gonna be 27-21. Saints win by 6. I think both offenses are going to look pretty good. I
Scratch
think they're
that.
gonna
No,
look
I'm not. I'm not pushing out. Texans by 11.
okay. All right. Whoa. Thank you all for joining us, man. It's been an hour and 12 minutes. We might have to start our own podcast together, but we'll figure that out. Thank you all for joining us on Behind Enemy Lines. Caleb, is there anything you want to promote?
Big Hit Called Game on YouTube. I don't upload much, but when I do, it's a banger. But you can catch me weekly. It's not talking football, but it's talking wrestling on the Curb Stomp podcast. Check out my TikTok as well. Both are there. Big Hit Called Game TikToks usually gets daily uploads. Rather, it's me telling you who's going to be the best fantasy receiver to end the year, or it's me breaking down the Broncos fucking sucking on some run play because it feels like that's what they've been. Is I take the longest run of every week, I break it down, and the last 2 weeks it's been and I've had 2 Broncos plays on there. So help me God.
Yeah, man. Pain does numbers. So
Not
all right, everybody.
not
Thank
enough.
you for joining. Thank you for tuning in, watching Behind Enemy Lines. If you watched all the way through this, I greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. We're on the road to 124 away. A sub a day keeps the big bad YouTube termination copyright. I don't know. I was trying to cook that outro there for a second.
A
But
sub a day keeps Big K away.
no, I want Big K. Pause. Um,
Whoa!
pause. Pause. All right.
Whoa!
It wasn't even what I said. It was the tone. Either way, thank you all for joining, Caleb. I appreciate you for helping me out joining. And if you haven't already, make sure y'all like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. And yeah, man, we're out. Peace.